Vanguard from Aegis Imperium here. Welcome to our 4th video blog. As you know, in our last video blog, we talked about the world of Na'vi. Today we are going to continue with that theme and analyze the concept art that's available to us. As you know from the counter, there are hints and teasers contained in the artwork that give us a glimpse of what Mortal Online will be like. But remember, most of these statements are our impressions of the art and what we think they could possibly mean. But let's get started. The Kirites. The Kirites are a tribal race. This idea is reinforced by their use of feathers and tattoos. They seem to be pretty similar to the Mongols in that they favor light leather armor and use horses as their primary mounts. The falcon on the shoulder of the Kirite here indicates that there is a possibility of using tameable pets for messaging, scouting, and maybe even attacking. In our previous video blog, it was mentioned that the PM system might take the form of carrier birds. This concept art might indicate that these birds will not just spawn automatically, but might actually be in-game objects that can be sold, traded, and killed. Much like the teaser trailer we have seen, Kirites inhabit the steppes, relying heavily on mounts to move across vast stretches of land in between villages. They favor ranged weapons such as bows and use small daggers as fallback weapons. The armor, made out of leather, is extremely flexible and durable with hard plates sewn in. The flags on the left could be something that was used to mark territory for the different Kirite tribes. This concept art piece is titled Sedoan Explorers. As such, it can be assumed that it depicts some sort of scouting party looking for food or even a new place to settle. From their clothing and tattoos, it can be said that they are a tribal society much like the Kirites or forest elves, or have deep traditions and rites that are associated with body art. One of the most curious features of the art is that there's a woman present in a tribal society scouting party. Historically, women were often too valuable to just send off to the wilderness and would usually stay back in the settlements. Judging from their expressions, it seems like the party had just experienced a great loss. Coupled with the presence of the woman and the ruins in the background, it can probably be assumed that they have suffered a great cataclysm that has displaced them from their original homes. This cataclysm may very well have been the Conflux. But again, this is pure speculation by our part. We can assume that the ruins in the background are Sedoan ruins, ruins which are quite reminiscent of Aztec temples, reinforcing the idea that they have been displaced. Despite being within a jungle, the ground is depicted like it's cracked and barren. Combined with the ruins, it is safe to assume the Sedoans, much like the Tindramans, are survivors of the Conflux, grieving at the loss of their previous strength, or even the fertile land. As such, their society was changed. The new race, the Shivra, seem to be an Alvarin-type race of the nighttime variety, going off of the skin and what we know of night and dark elves. He may also be out at night just to gather that lotus-type plant. If there is hidden information in these images, this shows that certain plants may bloom at different times of the day, or maybe, dare we say, different seasons. As you see in his left hand, the Shivran is using a sickle to gather the plants that are in his backpack. On the hook of his backpack, there seems to be a mushroom. You can also see mushrooms growing next to the lotus-type plant. Mushrooms may be used in different ways, but we think he may need them for making some sort of poison. The Shivran boots are another important thing to notice. The boots have spikes coming out of the front and top for gripping the cliff while climbing. Attached to his waist is what looks like a book, which implies he is studying skills such as herbalism or alchemy, or maybe it's his recipe book. So if you were to loot that book, you could get the list of all his recipes that he knows and get a nice burst in your own skills. Next to the book is a vial, which implies that the Shivran is skilled in making potions. He also seems skilled in high climbing and athletics. The Blaine are actually one of the dwarf races of Mortal Online. They would have been named Frost Dwarfs, but the developers have decided to give all races in Mortal Online their own original names. Because of the background and the very pale skin color, Blaine look like they're a species from the Arctic region. Blaine is an Old Norse name of an ancient magical creature. In some stories it is a dwarf, an elven creature, or a spirit that represents a kind of somber thought or vision. The translated meaning is bluish, which may come from the color of their eyes and their entire skin tone. Their ears are closely related to elfin ears. If you look in the background, there's some sort of hairy horse, and actually that Blaine seems to be just as tall as that horse. They know how to make hooves and work with leather, and off to his right shoulder you can see some reins sitting there as well. Now if you look right above the Mortal Online signature, you can see some dead bodies lying in the snow. It's a nice little addition, huh? Now those could be foes that the Blaine has defeated, and he has kept them there in the snow to use as a deterrent for other possible attackers.
Hi everybody, this is Lion1978. From what you've heard so far in this blog, the developers of Mortal Online, put hints in most, if not all, artworks. We only found a small piece of the big puzzle so far, waiting for the release of this great game.